This made me incredibly happy. I got an email from Zhiyun company and they asked me if I wanted to show their new gimbal at my channel. I have no experience with such kind of collaboration. It's actually the first one. So I asked them if I could share in the video what I really think, and they replied that honest review is perfectly fine with them. At that time, they didn't know that I've been actually using their products for years. I got those two older Weebill for years in my studio, and they've done a great job for me, and they are still functional and reliable. And this new Weebill Cinepeer 3E traveled to us to my photography children's summer camp that I organize every year, and I thought the camp might be a really great opportunity for testing. There is one other thing: parents always ask me about the best gear for the best price, because they are buying things for their children and they don't want to spend too much money on it. And this gimbal is really inexpensive. So I thought this might be my future answer if it works as it should. I got this one for free, but Zhiyun is not in control of what I'm going to say in the video, and they will not see it before I upload it. At the camp we have 2 days totally devoted to videography. So I gave the gimbal to children to work with it, and I focused on 3 fundamental aspects. How difficult is the gimbal balancing? And then I was really interested in ease of use. And finally, how good or bad is the gimbal stabilization? That's what you are actually buying the gimbal for, to get stable footage. And before we start with practical part, I'll give you a few specs. It's really light. It weighs a little under 1 kilo. It is very small. It has the size of A4 paper. Payload capacity is 3.5 kilos, which is huge for the gimbal of this size. Anyway, I wouldn't put so much weight on it. It's always good to have some reserve for optimal gimbal performance. And we know that brands usually over-exaggerate those specs. And me personally, I wouldn't buy this a little gimbal to put a huge cam on it. It doesn't make any sense to me. The gimbal includes all necessary modes that you need. There are 7 of them. When I use gimbal, I usually use just 3 of them. I usually stick just to basic ones, which is follow, pan follow, and lock. It has Bluetooth connection for those who want to control the cam from the gimbal itself. This way you can trigger the cam and adjust different cam's values. You can shoot vertically with this gimbal, which might be important especially for those who prepare social media content. Now let's go to the real-world testing to our children's summer camp. When we were unboxing the gimbal, one of my students was amazed at the design, and he said it looked cosmic. And the kids liked the way it looked, and I did as well. I know it is subjective, but it is important. You're gonna buy things that you like, right? At the first glance, you don't get that impression of low-cost product, not at all. However, when you tap the gimbal, you can hear that plastic compromise sound. I basically don't care, as long as the gimbal is functional and durable. But I can't say now. The time will show. Children at our camp know how to set up the cam for video. I show them and explain different gimbal modes, and we also practiced ninja walk, and we had so much fun doing it. If you are still watching, consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me a lot and gives me energy to continue. I gave this new Cinepeer to boys to give it a good workout. And first they had to balance it. And David, who was in charge, learned how to balance the gimbal the day before with the old Weebill 3S. And he was able to balance the new Cinepeer in no time. Just quick note, David is really a skillful student. But we couldn't get one axis of the gimbal to move. It was stuck somehow, but eventually it loosened up and it worked smooth. I have no idea where the problem was, and except that little snag, it was a breeze. When you start the gimbal, you don't feel any vibration or rattling. Everything is absolutely stable. But here I must mention one crucial shortcoming. When we tried to put Canon RS3 with Tamron 24-70 on the gimbal, it was jamming on the back axis and it couldn't move, and thus you wouldn't be able to get those lower angle shots. Payload capacity is huge. But what's the use if it's not able to work with the cams of larger dimensions? David used just basic modes with the gimbal and he was shooting for more than 4 hours in the day. And the footage he captured was stable and looked professional. I was really proud of him. The next day I asked David to show Tim how to balance the gimbal. And then little Tim tried to balance it himself. Tim tirelessly filmed all evening, and being more of a flyweight, Cinepeer did not overwhelm him. This gimbal is really light and compact. Comparing the ergonomics of the old Weebill 3S, Cinepeer is definitely better designed. You don't cover the controls with your palm when you hold it. The controls of new Cinepeer are pulled up above the grip, which is great. And it looks very similar to Ronin RS3. Joystick is little, looks fragile, but works smooth and reliable. It is positioned with the controls on the left side, so manipulation will be much easier for the right-handed. And I'm sorry for the left-handed. The display isn't touchscreen, but it doesn't bother me. It should be noted that it took me a while to discover that the wheel on the right side is clickable. Kids gave me Cinepeer back after 2 days of using with few scratches. And I think the gimbal will suffer from scratches due to the materials and finish used. The kids who used the gimbal were thrilled and took really nice shots. It should be noted here that they had comparison only with older model of Weebill 3S.
It was really easy to balance the gimbal and I had no problems with it. And the grip of the gimbal is perfect. It fits nice. It's not heavy and I could film with it all day. There is just one thing that I would point out. I tried with my big lens, the Tamron 24-70, and it did not fit well.
I have never used or balanced any gimbal before. The first time I did it with David, it was quite easy because he was there with me, he helped me out. Second time, David wasn't there, so I had to do it myself and I managed to do it. It wasn't heavy for me. I was using it for an hour and a half with my Nikon Z5 and the lens 14-30, and it was fun to use.
I also took the gimbal to the rocks where we climbed with my family, and I used it with Sony A6700 together with a little Sigma 18-50. And the gimbal handles this setup with ease. Balancing of Cinepeer was really easy and fast. It took me maybe 3 minutes. I bought a Ronin RS3 where the mounting system is different, but it's so easy to get used to Cinepeer. I had to take the intensity of pen mode a little bit off. It is set to 100% and it's way too much. It's too aggressive. So I set it to 75 and it was perfectly fine for my taste. I shot sporadically for 3 days and never once recharged the battery. It is supposed to last about 16 hours for a single charge, which is fantastic. I also made short video for one of my clients' social media, and I have to say that Cinepeer is so easy to control and film with. I'll be using Cinepeer E especially on trips where I need lightweight luggage. This small lightweight gimbal plus small mirrorless camera will be just great for travel. I would recommend to use this gimbal with smaller and middle-sized cams, and as you saw, you can't properly fit the larger ones. Overall, it's light, compact, very easy to use, and even a child can balance it. Stabilization that you get from this is excellent, and it's equipped with all the necessary modes that you need. Nice price would be fine, right? And this one is really inexpensive. So what's the price of this one? It's 249 bucks, and you will get even 10% discount if you use the link below the video to buy it. It will help you and it will help my channel. If you like the video, give it a like and follow my channel. It will make my day. See you next time. Bye bye.